Well, everyone, you may have just picked up your brand new Apple Watch Series 8, and I'll go and give you a quick breakdown on exactly how to use your brand new watch. Now, luckily for you, this is a very awesome watch. It's going to last you a very long amount of time. But if you just purchased your watch, I'd recommend you don't really need a screen protector or anything crazy, but the easiest way to set up your watch is to go ahead and grab your iPhone and just bring it very close to the watch like this, and you should get a little pop-up panel. Now, I've already set my watch up, but all you have to do is go ahead and bring your watch close to your iPhone as long as I believe it's on iOS 16, and that is pretty much the quickest way to get your iPhone situated with your specific device. So as long as you're in that ballpark, you should be good to go. Now, looking around the watch itself, it came in two different sizes. So you have the 41mm size, and you have that 44mm size or 45mm size as well. So it's really up to you whether you got the smaller one or the bigger one, but the design and the capability are almost identically the same on both. Now, looking around the watch, we have the display on the front, which is very beautiful. It's an always on display too if you have the capability. Now, you can turn on the display. There's a few different ways. You can tap to basically turn on the display like this. You can also go ahead and click on the button on the side. You can also go ahead and tap the button on the side to go ahead and wake your display up, and you can also click the button on the side here too. Now, there's no buttons on the left side, there's just like a little speaker thing right there. On the right side, we do have a little microphone grill. We have our side button, which can unlock Siri and a couple other things here and there, and power off your Apple Watch. And we have our digital crown. Now, the digital crown is really cool because it allows us to go ahead and interact with it. So we can turn on our device like this. We can click it again to get into a different panel, which we'll get into in a second. And we can go ahead and utilize it and kind of zoom in and out with it too. It moves sideways, so it's almost like an actual crown on a watch. But you can always click it. It's almost like a home button in a way. So we can click it again to unlock it back home. Now on the back, we do have our charging cable little portion. So we will grab our Apple Watch charger, and we can go ahead and plug it into the back of this specific watch. It's a wireless charger, so keep that in mind. You don't have to plug it in. It's just like a little close, it just clamps on the back. Now we have our bands here as well. Now unlocking and putting in bands of your Apple Watch is probably the most thing. It's probably a thing you're going to do one time and move on. But if you've never done it before, you can see right here that there seems to be a little type of button thing. All we want to do if we want to go ahead and pretty much navigate through our watch and put our bands on and off is to basically click that button in. So we want to hold that button down, and we'll then be able to slide these bands out of place. So you can go and hold it down, and you should be able to move it just like this, and it can be a little bit of a process, but to slide it back in, you just follow it along the lines just like this. Depending on how your band is set up, you want to make sure you just slide it in just like so. So there's a little crack right there, a little crease, not crack, and you just want to click it into place. So as you can see, it's not moving. So you can do that on both sides. So if you want to detach your band, you hold down that button right there. You can pull this band out while you're holding it down, and that should allow you to pretty much turn your band on and off, or just enable it. And that should allow you to basically put your band on. Now that is it for the outside. There's really not anything complicated. Now with your watch itself, as soon as you boot it up for the first time and going through your initial setup, you'll have your initial little home screen here. Let's just call it the home screen, your watch face. Now like I said, you can turn on your display by clicking on it. Now watch faces can be configured. So before we get too deep on here, just keep in mind that you can change a lot of things within here. Now at the very top, you might see a little do not disturb icon. You may see a little red dot. If you see those, that means you have notifications. So to get into your status bar essentially or your notification center for your Apple Watch, you can get there by actually going through and swiping down from the top just like this. So just like on your phone, you can swipe down from the status bar, you can swipe down from the top just like this, and you can pretty much see all the notifications that you have. Now at the very top, you'll see clear all, so you can clear all notifications. If you swipe down and you don't have any notifications, it's going to say nothing. But if you're getting calls or texts or anything like that, you basically see all of that information right there. Now you can swipe it out of the way and pretty much move on from there. Now, instead of swiping up from the top, you can also swipe up from the bottom, and you'll also get into this panel. Now what this panel allows you to do is pretty much it's your quick toggles. So without having to go into your settings or anything crazy like that, you can navigate through with the screen right here, but you can also use that digital crown to swipe up and down just like this. So here you can go ahead and navigate with your Wi-Fi. You can put your Apple Watch on vibrate mode or silent mode. You can go ahead and see your battery percentage there. There's a lot of other things, do not disturb mode, airplane mode. There's lots of things here. You can also edit your toggles at the very bottom. So this is a very cool thing too. But like I mentioned, if you ever want to go back to your home, you can utilize the crown right here as a home button. So you can click on it and it'll take you straight into this little panel as well. Now with the watch faces, these are completely configurable. So what you can always do is you can hold down on the watch face and you can get into this panel. Now if you want to edit your current watch face, you want to change your modules or whatever, you can click the edit button right here, and you can go ahead and swipe through, and you can pretty much change the color. So if you want a different color of this, you can go ahead and pretty much change it like this. If you want to change these widgets, your complications, you can go and change those too by clicking on one, and you can go and change it to something else if you want to. There's lots of other things you can do here, so it's really up to you whatever you want to configure it to. And in my opinion, I typically keep mine on stock. Like I have my own watch face right here that I actually like a lot. But if you like this one, then you can go and change it literally to whichever way you want to. But you can also completely change your widget by swiping to the side. You can click new, and you can see all these new watch faces that are also available on your specific Apple Watch. So this is another really cool thing. So if you wanted to add this one, you can click add, and you can pretty much just go ahead and if you like it, you can click this side button here, and now you can go ahead and have this watch face as well, which is really cool. Which that's actually kind of mesmerizing, I'm not gonna lie. Now another thing is if you want to swipe between your watch faces, instead of holding it down and then going from here, you can also kind of side swipe on the display just like this, depending on which way your specific watch face is. It used to work, there we go. So it's not as good as it used to be, but essentially it's another cool feature. Now with the digital crown here, another thing I'll show you is if you click it, you'll basically get into this specific panel. Now this panel is basically your application drawer. All of the apps that you have in your watch, you will basically be over here. So you'll be able to find all of them, including your phone calls, iMessage, Spotify, App Store, so many things. So I'm not going to go through each individual one, but the main thing I'm going to show you is within the App Store. So if you ever want to download applications and you don't know if they're supported on your Apple Watch or not, well, all these, within the Apple Store, Apple Watch, you can go ahead and, utilize every single thing from your watch here. So all these apps will go ahead and be suitable for your Apple Watch, which is really cool. So you can also search by clicking up here. You can have a few different ways of inputting text. So you can use the keyboard here. So it's a big keyboard. So if I wanted to type in like Y, I think it is a swipe keyboard, which is really cool. But you can also, if there's ever a little microphone down here, you can also type in that specific thing here too. So I can say calculator. And we'll go ahead and type that in for me. Hopefully it didn't get the rest. And that's another thing you can do as well. So I can search that, and I can go ahead and download a calculator application on my Apple Watch, for example. So there's a lot of cool things within the App Store that you can go ahead and download, and I would recommend going through here if you ever wanted to download any sort of application. Now, like I said, the digital crown can, act as a home button, but it also acts as a back button first. So if I click here, it's not going to take me straight into my, home face, like my watch face. It's going to take me into my app drawer, which is really cool. So if there's nothing else to go back to, it'll just take you back to where you were before, which is really cool, or your watch face, it doesn't matter. Now the last thing I'm going to show you, besides all these other applications that you can kind of mess around with, is within the settings application. So if we click on settings, this is a really big thing in my opinion. You should probably get used to coming into your settings every once in a while if you're having issues with your watch or anything like that. So the first thing I'd recommend doing is updating your watch. So if you plan on getting into your watch and you watch this video so far, one of the best things you can do is click on general right here, go into software update, which is right here, and pretty much just go ahead and update your specific Apple Watch. In my opinion, this is probably one of the most important things you can do if there's an update available. That is one of the things, for here you can see my Apple Watch is up to date, but for you, if you are having issues with your Apple Watch or whatever, you may just want to see if an update is available, and that's probably one of the most important things I would recommend doing in this specific case as well. Now tapping on the home screen again, I can go and click the back button here. You have a lot of other things here. You have, nightstand mode, you have dictation, screenshots. You have the ability of resetting your Apple Watch and shutting down your Apple Watch as well. Clicking back once more, you can see we have tons of other options, our Wi-Fi options, app view, you can change how your app view is, accessibility, Siri, all these other things. So you have a lot of other options within settings. So I'd recommend going through, and you don't have to know each individual one, but if you have a good idea of like which, specific toggle does what, that's pretty much all you have to do. In that case, that's another really awesome thing. Clicking on the little home button right here, you can come back home. Now another thing, like I said, with this side button here, it'll basically allow you to go ahead and hold it down, and you can go ahead and turn off your Apple Watch if you need to. You can go ahead and turn on this compass backtrack thing, which I've never seen before, and you can also go ahead and click on the power button up top right here, and you can go ahead and power off your Apple Watch there too. So you have a lot of cool things here, and honestly, this is a watch that's going to last a long amount of time. Now there are some other things like emergency, like the crash detection and all those other things too that are new with the Apple Watch that are already configured. But at this point, you should have a decent understanding of how to use your watch, and hopefully you have a great time with it. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.